record on this computer. Awesome. Cool. Hi guys. We are a Chicago sports podcast starting today. We're gonna go by Monsters of the Mic. My name is Costa. I grew up in Chicago and Skokie most of my life, now living in Pilsen. I've been here 31 years of my life, never have left the state, unfortunately, because it's cold as hell outside. And I think one of my favorite sports Chicago moments, obviously, like my favorite thing is a very, very, very simple thing is I think the Cubs winning the World Series, but my favorite moment, honestly, of all time, even though our outcome wasn't what we wanted, it was when Devin Hester returned the opening kickoff in the Super Bowl for a touchdown. That I sat there for the moment of my life. I'm like, oh my God, we have hope. And obviously, right, the outcome wasn't what it is, but that really is something that's cemented into my head for forever, ever.
The great that's
Yeah,
that's a great one. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Hello everyone. My name is Mondo Too Crazy for short. Don't wear the name out. Uh I've been in Chicago for about 27 years. Grew up in Little Village. Moved to Midway after I don't know, like my sophomore year or something like that. Um, Longtime sports fan. My favorite Chicago moment My favorite Chicago sports moment was the Cubs win in 2016, just because I know exactly where I was and what I was
Yeah,
doing. And
fair.
like it's simple, but I had just came out of work. I was on my
Hmm.
way back to the game. As I got my
Yeah.
brother, he walked in with two Modelos and
Hmm.
they ended up winning. And I was
That's
like, dude,
awesome.
like it was just perfect timing, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
It was awesome.
No, you're
Um,
right, and I think that's funny because I also remember where I was in 2016, right? And it's funny
mm,
that 2016 and the Super Bowl moment were in the same exact bar. My sister used to be a bartender as like a bar up in Skokie on Gulf Road,
yeah,
and I was there. When the Cubs won the World Series, I was there with my little brother, and it was great. And so like both times, both those moments, I was there with my little brother. It was a great time. So like, yeah, that will always be embedded into my head. So that's
yeah,
awesome.
that's great, man. Did you
Yeah,
uh
yeah.
did you go to the parade? I'm pretty sure you did.
Oh,
But like, were you,
absolutely. I called off work. I called off work. I went to Dick's Sporting Goods because that day I stood in line. I bought like crap ton of memorabilia, and then I got onto the train and I went straight to the parade.
that's awesome. Yeah,
Right?
I still have a newspaper from that day. So
Oh,
I know it.
nice, nice.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
little off
yeah, yeah.
topic, but yeah, like
No,
I want
I
to
mean,
frame
I mean,
it.
I
Yeah,
I know. Is it the newspaper where everyone is jumping? Right? It's on the
yeah.
mound.
I
Yeah,
think it's the Tribune one. Yeah,
yeah. I have that one too. It's locked in the safe that it's going to put into a picture frame one day.
yeah. You gotta
Yeah,
save it, man. Yeah,
I
you gotta
feel that.
save it.
Yeah, yeah. So I love the Cubs. And honestly, like I know we're gonna be talking about a lot of Bears things today, but it's a public service announcement. Baseball is my love. I love football, but baseball is yeah,
Baseball.
right. It's
Yeah.
it's it's I'm an old soul, but I think just I know it sounds crazy, but the romantic side of baseball, right? It's awesome, even with the new changes. So much as I love football and football is fantastic, baseball is will always be number one, honestly.
Yep. I feel that, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it. All right.
Cool.
You want to get into it now? I think the first topic we had was Caleb Williams' rookie season. I think
Right.
we can. How do you want to start from the first 8 games or?
I know. It's such a roller coaster, right? I mean, this whole season was roller coaster, right? And then, you know, as much as right, he had the hype about being his number one pick and all that stuff, and like him not living up to the hype. I think honestly, he did pretty well with what was in front of him. I mean, what he took 68 stacks this season, like this is ridiculous. I mean, you're not gonna unless you're Joe Burrow, right? That you're the ones to the Super Bowl where he got sacked
Dude,
what like 60 times too, but that's
Joe
uh,
Burrow is the anomaly.
right,
Yeah, yeah.
right,
That doesn't happen all that
right.
often. And
So
I'm
I
pretty
think
sure.
it. Good.
Yeah. Didn't he get hurt his rookie season too? Like that wasn't
Yeah,
it.
Burrow tore his ACL. He tore his ACL. I don't think it was in the beginning, if I'm correct, but it was some point he missed the majority of the season, and people are like, well, "Why are you not protecting
Yeah,
your franchise
see,
QB?"
yeah. I I will say our guy at least. I mean, he thank God he didn't get hurt, right? Like, but you
I
can
know.
tell he was getting his ass kicked.
Oh, absolutely.
Like there were moments during the season where I was like, damn, like he might actually get hurt this game or like with it
Yeah.
was yeah, I don't think it was like the amount of blows. I think at the end it ended up being like how hard he was being hit.
Right.
Do you
Right.
remember like I think it was Anzalone from the Lions
Oh yeah. Oh
when he
yeah.
hit him on the sideline? Yeah, that was one of
Mm,
them where I was like, oh fuck, he
that
might
was rough.
actually. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
tough. That was tough.
And granted, right? Like I don't want to put everything on the offensive line. He took some bad sacks. I mean, obviously right. Like rookies do that, right? It's just in the rookies' natures of taking bad sacks. But like as much as I think, as the season progressed, which you like said, breaking it down and stuff like that, like I think there were times where he tried to play hero ball. Like, granted, right? Yes, he only threw 6 interceptions, but like he airmailed things, and we'll get into obviously right the nitty gritty of just the out of like Sunday games when he's playing like the freaking coaching stuff like that is a huge impact on it too. But I think just him just having those moments and trying to play hero ball. And granted, yeah, like he's number one overall pick. He wants to show it, right? Like, and yes, right. His 2 best games were against the Jags and Panthers. Like I mean, he did what he had to do against those teams, right? He had a QBR of 124 against the Jags and a QBR of 126 against the Panthers, right? 300 yards against the Panthers, 2 touchdowns, right? Against the Jags, 4 touchdowns, 226. He did what he had to do in those games, right? Like he did, right? Like so, like great, fantastic. But I mean, you just look at other teams with
You
against like good teams, and it's just
you could make the
you know,
argument that he was stat padding a little bit in some of those games, maybe
yeah,
towards the
yeah.
end.
Because he
Uh,
was down in the games, like and granted, right, that Vikings game, right, when they came back in Soldier Field and lost in overtime because hey, we're cursed like that in the city. Um, but he threw 340 yards. But yeah, granted, it was coming back the entire time, right? So like, if the game was close, would that number have been skewed, right? If the game was closer, was he going to throw for 340 and 2 touchdowns, right? Like maybe, maybe not.
let's I mean, let's think about it. I kind of want to like take a step back,
Okay.
like what like raw talent, right? Like just by looking at him play, what do you see? Like what do you think he's good at? What do you think he needs to work on?
So I think the one thing that he's good at, right, which was something that as much as I think the Bears screwed him over, Justin Fields didn't do, right? Which is a whole topic we can get to because you know how I feel about Justin Fields. But he always keeps his eyes down the field. And I love that, right? No matter how much pressure he is, no matter what he is, he's always trying to make a play down the field, which goes into hero ball, right? Which gets into that territory. But at the same time, I really like how he's always looking down. Like, yes, can he make moves? Is he elusive? Can he run for first downs? He's shown that he can. He's athletic. He does that. But that's not his first thing. He's like, okay, I'm being pressured running around. Let me still try to get the ball downfield, make a play, right? Which obviously, right, like I said, turns into air mailing, turns into hero ball, right? But I
Mhm.
really like that aspect. The one thing that I don't like is is that hero ball because it turns into many sacks on his part too. Yes, did he get blown up multiple times? Of course he did. Did the offensive line let him down? Of course they did, right?
Yep.
But there was times where I felt like he rolled out or held the ball too long, and there was multiple instances we can go into the season, right? And it's just like, dude, just just get rid of the ball. Just get rid of it. Like you don't have to dance around in the backfield, right? You're out of the pocket and just get rid of the ball if you don't have anything, right? Like don't risk a sack like that, especially right because the offense has not been moving the ball well.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the one thing that I really, really get frustrated with him is just like I get you want to be here, I get your number overall pick, like, but just
There's
get rid of the
probably a
ball.
little bit of an ego there because of
Sure,
that. Like that's
sure,
probably why he was doing the hero ball. I'm not saying that he has an ego or like that or
agreed,
anything.
agreed,
Yeah, but
agreed.
like I mean you got drafted number one for a reason, man. Like he
Sure,
probably believes in his skills. Like of
yeah,
course he thinks he's the best every time he steps on the field.
correct.
I
I,
thought,
I, I guess what about you? What about I guess the likes and not likes?
dude, it was For me, it was his arm talent, and it it was something that Justin never had, which
Sure.
was like the pocket awareness. I don't know,
Hmm.
like just like seeing them like maneuver in there and just like little subtle steps just to get away from guys. It was
Oh yeah.
yeah, it was cool. Like I was amazed. But I think his deep ball, that one for sure, I didn't like I don't think he hit more than like five, right? I think
No.
I don't have the numbers in front of me, yeah, but like he struggled with that a lot. Like that was one thing I didn't like, the holding on to the ball too much. I did like that. I mean, even if he did hold on to the ball for, I don't know, like more than 5 seconds or whatever, it didn't turn into a turnover. So that
Sure.
was he did like it's like he still had that awareness even though he
Right.
was trying to make a play, which
No,
was
fair.
yeah.
Fair.
It was just
I
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, the one thing that I think is going to change because of the coaching perspective, which obviously we'll get in a second, right? Is I think he was taught with Eberflus and Waldron, and then eventually, right, Thomas Brown, which I like Thomas Brown, and and I've spoken to you about this right in the past, really quickly in a tangent, right? Is I don't think he should have been the head coach at all this season, right? And I get it, right? I think they jived very well as the OC and him up in the box. I don't think they should have. They should have just put the defensive guy up. At the end of the day, they were going to get a new coach anyway. So like, why quote unquote jeopardize that with giving Thomas Brown more responsibilities when all he had to do was focus on Caleb Williams? Anywho, that's something else. I think
Got
they
promoted
coached
three
him
times in within one
right,
season.
right. Like
I
good
think it
for
was like
him, but
10 days.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
good for him, but no. Um,
Yeah.
but I think with Caleb, I think he was this coach don't turn over the ball. So that I think
Yeah.
happened in the airmail stuff. I think with Ben Johnson, that's not going to fly. It's to be like, hey, sure, if the play's not there, throw it, but don't be scared to air it the f out. You know what I mean? Like, don't be scared to throw the ball down the field. Don't be scared to do it because Ben Johnson, right, as we'll talk about it, likes explosive plays, trickery things, right? Moving the ball down the field. If you saw it in Detroit, right, Jared Goff was bombing things down to Williams, right, and all these other players, and it's just like I feel like that's what Ben's going to bring here, and I feel like that notion. I would not be surprised if right Caleb throws double-digit interceptions next year, but if his touchdowns go to 35 and 10 picks, I'm not going to
That's
complain.
really good. Yeah.
I'm
I'll
not going to complain on that, right?
yeah.
Like no one's going to complain in Chicago about that,
Nah, I would take that in a heartbeat. Yeah.
right?
I think so too. I don't think Thomas Brown and the situation he got put in was, I don't think it was as bad. I think it was a lot of it had to do with like the culture, the players in the locker room. I think that there was there's like an accountability for
Sure.
them that was lacking. And I think that has to do with like there's not enough like um there's too much youth in the locker room, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough guys that did it, that have been there, done that, right? So like
Sure.
no one everyone's kind of like trying to figure it out right now. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of not surprising that it blew up like this, but
But
I mean,
at the same time, I agree with that. But I'm going to counter that. There was a lot of vets in there. You got Keenan Allen, you got DJ Moore, right? Cole Kmet's not a rookie anymore, right? Like you've had some big guys that have been around for a couple of years, right? Granted, right, Keenan and DJ are kind of relatively new, but you got a Cole Kmet there, right? You got Tremaine Edmonds, you got TJ Edwards, who, granted, yes, have only been in Chicago a limited amount of time in their career, but they came from organizations. The Buffalo Bills, who have been a contender, not I mean a contender other than the Kansas City Chiefs being in their way every single year, right? Like contender, right? The Eagles, same thing. TJ Edwards, you know what I mean? Like he was their led the team in sacks, right? The Eagles on a great defense. So like I
mhm.
agree with you on that, but at the same time, I feel like some of that leadership was let down, right? I feel like some of that attitude. And granted, right? Like, yes, I think after Eberflus did not take any fault on that Hail Mary against the Commanders, against the Commanders, I think that's where all shit went to hell, right? I think that's where the leadership was just like, F you, like we don't want to, right? So I think that was the big tipping point. But at
Blew
the
up in
same
their
time,
faces.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But at the same time, I feel like, where is that vet support, right? Like, you brought Keenan to be a quote unquote, blanket for Caleb. Where was that, right? Outside of it, right? Like, so like I feel like that is, a little bit frustrating in that sense because of
I yeah, I think they had all the talent to be really good, but I do agree. Like there was after that Hail Mary debacle, like
Mhm.
that it imploded. Like everybody was against everybody, no trust in the locker room. Like I'm not su yeah, it's not surprising that happened. But I mean that just goes to show that, they didn't have the strong enough culture that they thought that they had, you know.
Right,
Um
right. Which goes into, right, like we can go to our next topic, right? And then it's kind of segue of, does Ben Johnson actually preach this? But is this right? Like I know he came into Hallis Hall, right? It was like, you guys better ready to be uncomfortable, right? Like all this stuff. Like I've heard this crap
mhm.
multiple times. Like I hope he practiced what he really preaches. And I
Yeah.
think he is. Like I really think I'm really, really excited. I'm always optimistic for the Bears, but I think Ben does bring in that side, right, of a winning culture, knows what it takes, and more importantly, and I know people are pissed about Poles coming back. First time GM, you got to give him a chance, right? Look. For example, right? Let's just turn to the Eagles and how he messed up some of those draft picks at the beginning, and look what he's
Terrell
built,
Owens. Yeah,
right?
Owens. Didn't he have his issues with him? And like there
Yeah,
was a whole yeah, like
right. That, but not even that, right? Like taking was it Nelson Aguilar over Justin Jefferson? Like he's
there you go.
made mistakes, right? But the Eagles are like, hey, we have faith in you. Let's
Mhm.
keep you, right? And look what he's built. He built a Super Bowl championship team,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So like,
You got
so
to give him time, man.
you got to give him time, right? You got to give him to learn from his mistakes. And I think this league, right, is a sort of league where it's like we need results right away. We need right away, right away, right away. Like, and that's what Tom Brady has said with the QBs, right? It's like they throw these QBs in right away, and they expect them to shoot for
Yeah.
go to the stars and the moons, right? But it's just like a lot of the old school QBs, they played in college a few years. They waited a little bit, right? Granted, if you like, Peyton Manning, but look at Peyton Manning, he threw 28 interceptions his rookie season, right? But no one talks about
It'd be
that.
interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, I agree. It'd be interesting to see like what the how older QBs that play in college, how they do in the NFL. Right. So,
Right?
because Jaden Daniels, I think he's like 24 or
Yeah,
something
he
like
played a
that.
few years, right? Yeah, he played a
Yeah.
few extra years, right? And like
Played at
because
Arizona. Yeah.
right, and some of these guys that are coming out, right? Cam Ward and all these other individuals, right? Like, are we gonna throw him in, right? Like an Anthony Richards type situation, and be like, oh, we really want to move on from him. The man only played 13 games in college, like full games, right? Not full, sorry,
Yeah.
not 13 full games. Sorry, I apologize. It's like what was the game stat? It was like 17 or 18 games total. And before like he was kind of drafted, it's like that's a raw talent. Why are we going to give up right away? And I think that's the issue a little bit in the NFL. And I think with Ben Johnson, right, coming in there and pairing him with Poles and right, and then also let's talk about just the incredible job Ben Johnson did with his coaching staff. Like we
Yep.
have Dennis Allen as our DC. Like I honestly, I'm just as excited as that hire as I am with Ben Johnson's hire.
Yeah, the defense is gonna get after him this season. They're gonna
Yeah,
be aggressive. Like
yeah.
they're gonna blitz way more than we're expecting.
Hmm.
It's gonna be and I think the coolest part about it is like, we blitzed a lot. Well, we blitzed a little bit, but this season it was a little more than usual, and it was
Hmm.
working, right?
Hmm.
Up until Brisker got hurt, but like it kind
Hmm.
of goes to show like our strength is really in the secondary, and if we could just like, man, if they can hold the back end down, send extra rushers, man, oh my God, they're gonna have so many sacks this season,
I
probably
really
forced
think so.
turnovers. Yeah, it's
Right.
gonna be
It's going to be awesome. And I think, and I think the smart thing about what Ben Johnson did, right, was he hired a bunch of guys with head coaching experience around him. Granted, right, I think it's Declan Doyle, right? The OC. Like, yes, he's young, right? 28, fine. I don't need him, but he's learning under Sean Payton. He doesn't need to make these calls, right? Ben Johnson's that person, but you bring in Dennis Allen, you bring in all these other individuals who have, higher level experience, and you surround yourself. It takes that pressure off. And I think with Eberflus, we didn't do that, right? We
Yep.
hired new guys, right? Like Luke,
Luke
gets
Getsy.
right, yeah. Shane Waldron, like all these guys, like they have experience. They're good at what they do in certain aspects, right? Like let's not take away what Shane Waldron did with Geno Smith, right? Like that is not like like I'm not gonna shit on the guy, right? But I don't think he was the guy for the Chicago job, right? And
No.
I think Ben Johnson really coming from Detroit, winning stuff, right? Under Dan Campbell, learned a lot of those things, right? And the last 3 to 4 seasons being in a winning culture, he knows what it is. And I think surrounding him with the coaching staff that he has is going to take a lot of pressure off there where he can just focus on that offense.
Not just the winning culture. I think he was in Miami too with Dan Campbell when Dan
Mm-hmm.
took over. So he's been
Yeah,
part of like a losing culture, and technically he's been part of the rebuild in Detroit because he was there with Matt Patricia, and he was the
true.
one of the guys that stood on. So he's seen like both
Yeah,
sides of it, which is which is good, right? I think that'll help him in
right.
his first couple of years, and then having the experience of like a Dennis Allen to like rely on for
Yeah,
for anything. Richard Hightower is still there. He already knows the roster. Like you could lean on him for that. Declan Doyle, I feel like some people have kind of said that he's like the new Kyle Shanahan, or like the young Kyle Shanahan, and it's kind of interesting because I've been looking into him, and I don't know, every time I look into, like, I don't know, he's interesting. He's just an interesting cat, and I kind of want to see what he does with this OC job. Like, even though we know, Ben's gonna be the one calling the plays, you know, Declan's gonna be the one like setting up the table, meeting with the offense, like scheming, like everything.
right.
Just
No, I agree with you 100% on all that, right? And I think and thanks for even bringing that up, right? Like I forgot that he was part of a losing culture in Detroit, right? So like I think he knows the work ethic and he knows I think the what it takes to build this, right? And granted, right, like going into next season, like I said, I'm an optimist, right? I thought they were going to win 10 games this year. Honestly, I think they'll win 10 games this year. Like I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but I think a lot of the games that were lost this year was due to the lack of coaching, right? Like Caleb had what other than the last game against Green Bay where they actually freaking pulled it off, he had other 5 games where he had the Bears in position to win.
yeah. How many
And
wins would that have put him
I
at?
mean, okay, so we got the Commanders game, you got the Detroit Thanksgiving game, you got the first Vikings game, you got the first Packers game. Am I missing any other ones?
Uh,
Oh, the Texans
maybe
game.
The Texans.
Oh, but that wasn't a
Well,
coaching bluff. That wasn't a coaching bluff.
the Patriots one was winnable. We just like completely
Right.
wet
But
the
if we're
bed on
looking
that one.
at, yeah, if we're looking at games where Caleb has got him into position to win and Eberflus effed it up, right? Those 4 games,
Those are
right?
four. Yeah.
Right. Those 4 games, what we finished the season, was it 5-12?
Yeah, we only won 5 games. So
Right,
nine
5-12.
games.
Right, it'll be
Nine and
nine and
seven.
seven. I don't think we make the playoffs because I think you still need a 10 win. But that's a winning record. That's better than last year, right? And
Mm.
I'm gonna say it. I'm glad we lost those games because we got rid of Eberflus and we got Ben Johnson. So I mean, hindsight is 2020. But I really think I'm really excited to see what they do, especially right with an off season of Poles learning from all his mistakes. I really think this kicked him in the ass, and I really hope it did. Right. And more
And he's
importantly, go ahead.
well, he's done a good job. Like I know, yeah, he has had a lot of mistakes, but I did see a stat somewhere that said that we have the most first and second round starters in the
Right.
league, right behind the Eagles. So
Yeah.
it's not like he's hitting on the top picks. It's just
Mhm.
the other ones that, the
Right.
development phase that I
Correct.
would say
Correct.
needs more.
And like, right, holding on to Valers for too long, right?
Yep.
Like it's just like You got to learn these things, and I trust him, right? And you know, someone person that we're talking about is
quiet for a very long time. I think is Kevin Warren, right? Like I know people
for a very, very long time, but like I think he got Poles and the McCaskies in the right mindset, and it's just like you know that they're paying Ben Johnson 5 years, $13 million. I never thought George was going to pull that out of his ass ever in my entire life as a Bears fan, but I'm just like I think Kevin put him in the perfect spot. I think for that to happen. So I think you know this offseason, right, is going to be. I know we were talking about, oh, it's a big offseason, blah, 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 right? Like, you know, this, that, and the other. But it's just like, I think it's going to actually be a big offseason because I think they finally have a freaking plan.
All right, let's get into that because I know that's the next topic.
Well,
What are the Bears? What does the off season look like? And then what do they do at 10?
you want me to tell you my perfect offseason?
Yeah, let's
Okay. Is
let's start with that. Let's start with that.
is they either sign, right? I know he had a bad Super Bowl, but I mean, any offensive line was going to get demolished by that Eagles line.
Yep.
I think it was going to happen. I want Smith, right? I want Trey Smith from the Chiefs, and then you trade 10 for Miles Garrett.
Wow.
That would be my perfect because right, and then right, you trade that, then you use your second pick to get a center or whatever it is. So like you buff up the O line and you buff up your defensive line, especially the defensive line. You pair Montez Sweat with Miles Garrett and you shore up your offensive line with Smith. I think that would be my perfect offseason. Is it going to happen? I highly doubt it. I really think Miles Garrett's going to go to Buffalo, but anywho,
What do you think it takes to get Miles though?
I think
Like
it'll be the first round, and honestly, like I think a third rounder.
a first and a third
Listen, it's
for
Miles effing Garrett. All right, like that Futurama fry me, take my money. That would be me. Take my two picks. Give me Miles Garrett. Because guess what? Last time we did that, it was for Khalil Mack, and for a bunch of years, for 3-4 years, we were living good again on defense.
I agree. I just think that's a little low for
He's a
Miles
low.
Garrett. Yeah, I think it'll cost a first, a second, and probably like a fifth or a sixth. It's definitely three picks. And I think what is he, 29? Does he
Yeah,
need a contract extension?
it'll have a contract. Yeah,
Okay, so maybe just the first, yeah, maybe it's first, second, probably a fifth or
because
a sixth.
right, because other things you can do is as much as I liked him, Kevin Jenkins has to go. He just can't stay healthy,
Yeah.
right? You cut him, I think you save. I think it was 10 million, right? Like you cut Walker, you cut a couple other guys. That 60 something million that we're at, right? In the offseason is going to go higher, right? So like you spend most of your money, right, on Trey Smith, and then you get Garrett, right? So you fill those two things, right? Like we know this is not going to be a one and done. Granted, what happened in Washington could happen. Absolutely, I agree. Right, like I think the Bears are a few pieces away to make a playoff, not a contender. Right, I don't think they'll be a contender to the Super Bowl level, but I think if you get that guard, you take care of another defensive lineman, you get more pressure on the QB, you protect Caleb, you can make the playoffs. But that is my
Oh yeah.
That is my
Yep.
But if you don't trade the pick, I know I talked to you about this too. I wouldn't mind asking Gentry if he's there, right? Abdul Carter, right? But I think, I don't think Abdul Carter is going to be there. So I think the one guy that's been two guys that have been standing out to me really, really, really is
To the tackle.
Will Campbell from LSU.
Yeah.
He's 6'6", 324. He's a great player, has played fantastic. Like he has a prospect grade of 6'4". So like I think he'll be great, but his problem is he has short arms, and we know how short arms with sometimes offensive linemen isn't the greatest. The other tackle, or is it a guard, is the guy from I think is it Texas, Banks Jr.
Oh, yeah.
He's 6'4", 320, right? Like big guy. I think he'll be great. I think his best game, honestly, if you go back and watch him against Will Anderson, he did very well against Will Anderson, right? And we know how Anderson is there, right? He's technically sound. He's quick. So like
either of those two, that
yeah.
sounds, yeah.
If we keep the 10, I want Banks Jr. Like if we keep that is my guy at 10 is Banks Jr. right now. But in a perfect offseason, it's you sign Smith and you trade for Garrett.
All right. Yeah. I mine was you sign Smith, right?
Mhm.
And then you get Kevin Zeitler. I
Okay.
don't know what free agent centers are on the market right now. I think there's a guy from the Dolphins who is who's
I
supposed to
believe
be
so. Yes.
yeah. So I think you need a veteran center. I I need to have that at least one.
Right.
I don't like these Lucas Patrick like backup of the backup signings. I think that's where Ryan gets too cute, like he's trying to find a diamond in the rough.
Mhm.
But I mean it hasn't worked. You gotta pay your guys up front. Like
Have to. Like
invest, yeah.
trenches wins, and we saw right. We saw this in the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
Trenches win you, right? So yeah, go ahead.
Trenches win you games. Yeah, that's it. Um, and then for the D line, well, at 10, I would want Ashton Genty because I have a feeling that DeAndre Swift is probably gonna get traded.
Okay.
Yeah. And and that has a lot to do with, how he exited Detroit that first go around with
Okay.
Ben. Because I think I don't know. I can't speak for Ben, but it didn't look like he like loved
Sure.
the way his style of play.
Sure.
Swift runs east and west too much for me anyway. Like
Hmm.
we need a guy that goes north and south. And I know they paid him for like 3 years, but I mean,
Sure.
he'd have like 2 years left on his contract. Somebody's gonna take it,
Right.
right?
And honestly, like if you're going that route, which I think is very plausible, right? Like you take a fourth or fifth round with him, right? Like it's whatever, right? Like it's a dump at that point. Because you're right. I think Ben Johnson, right? If we looked at the last couple of years in Detroit, right? The top the nickname they have is right is Tails and is it Knuckles?
Knuckles and
Yeah, right.
Sonic.
Right.
Yeah,
Knuckles and Sonic, right? Tails, what am
yeah.
I talking about, right? Like, so like he wants his quick gadget guy, right? They all made fun of right the Detroit for drafting Jameer Gibbs the way they did it. I'm like, why are we laughing? I think this is he's gonna be great. Like give him
He's a stud.
right,
He,
give him an offensive line, which Detroit has. That like
yeah,
Penei is probably one of the best, if not the best, right lineman in this league, right?
yep,
And you see what Gibbs has done, right? And he doesn't even touch the ball 20 times,
yeah.
right? He splits, and look what he does, right? So I think if Genty's there, I think so too. But at the same time, right, the one thing that I guess I could counter argue that is a very deep draft for running backs this year.
That that I have heard it's deep draft for I think D tackles and running backs
Right.
is what I've heard. Yeah. So I guess if you trade DeAndre Swift, you package that first pick for Myles Garrett, and then you take a running back later.
Yeah.
See if you could find something. Yeah.
Right. And I don't think he'll be there, right? But if he's there in the second or third round, I forgot the guy. I think the guy from Iowa State was whatever his name is. I forgot.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You
I
know,
think yeah.
he won. He
There,
won. He won the bowl MVP, and they lost. That's been such a long time since this happened. The man knows how to play. He knows how to. He's a workhorse. Like I wouldn't hate that either, right? So like, or there's some other guys in the draft there, right? Like there's a lot of running backs in this draft that can fill that need. But if you want to go, Ashton Genty at 10, I'm not going to hate that, right? Because I
mm,
think you need a big play running back because if they're going to play fast, everyone has to be fast.
yep.
Everyone has to be quick, your linemen down to receivers, all that stuff, right? And they want to play quick, right? They have DJ, right? They have Rome, you know, someone that I think, I think was going to have a great season. Just talking about offseason, I think Cole Kmet's going to have a resurgence. You know what I mean? But granted, right? If they get linemen that can actually block, and Cole Kmet doesn't have to stay in and block half the time, right? So keep our quarterback upright,
Get his targets up. Yeah.
and it's gonna open up the run games or open up the play action. So I don't hate what you're saying either. I actually kind of like it, but it's just gonna be interesting because are they gonna want to start paying people? If it's any indication of them paying Ben what they did, they might open the checkbook this offseason.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they realize how big of an off season this is. And I I think they're starting to understand like, all right, I think Kevin Warren did play a big influence on them, and now they're starting to realize like okay, like we can open up the checkbook and later on it'll pay off, right? Because if they're winning games, like well, they're just gonna all that money that they spent is just gonna come right back. Like that's yeah, that's how it works, man. Like I think I hope they start spending more in free agency this year. I think Ryan already kind of has the core of drafted players. Now he needs to just fill in his needs,
Sure, I
you
agree.
know.
Something that something that I just kind of thought of is like obviously I don't think they're gonna bring Keenan back.
No.
Much as I want to, because he's did start developing our chemistry with Caleb.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if, depending on where the dominoes fall, if he's there, is you sign T Higgins too.
T. Higgins is actually rumored to be franchise tagged by the Bengals.
Which I figured was gonna happen. I figured in my mind, I'm like, they would be stupid not to, especially after the last season that they had, right? So I figured that was gonna happen. But if they don't, like, you let Allen go, and then you sign Higgins, you have your deep threat in Higgins, you have your slot guy and more, then you have Rome on the other side. Like you have a three-headed monster. But granted, right? I know I'm praying and wishing for a lot of these things. But yeah,
That's wishful thinking.
I
Yeah.
am wishful thinking. But I do like the thing that you're going at, right? But it's just like, and one thing I also thought about too, right, is do you also trade back?
Trading back is you get more picks. You I've kind of from what I've seen on Twitter, um, some of the reports have been like the difference between 15 and like 42 isn't that big, right?
Right.
So if you get two first rounders, like that's awesome. You get three first rounder or however many, you just keep loading up picks. I think that's a perfect strategy for this one, for
Yeah.
this draft.
Because honestly, what I think was, correct me if I'm wrong. I think my number's wrong. I have to look it up, but I think it's the last 7 or 8 10th picks have been traded, have been moved.
Yeah,
Right.
I
I think
yeah.
it's just like, do you trade back, go to like 15 or 16, right? Draft all are there and get an extra pick, right? Which then who knows, right? Like there's so many opportunities, right? Like that's why I think it's so exciting. And I think, right, like from my idea to your idea, right? I think it's going to just it's exciting, right? Like I guess
Yeah.
yeah, I know, like the year before was exciting because we traded the Panthers, right? And then we got Caleb, right? Like the last couple of years have been great. And yes, granted, like we
It's
lost 4 games,
yeah.
but
It's
like
been a slow progression of like
right,
getting excited, right?
right.
It, we just overblow it. We overdo it in the off season
And
because
I
we're
think
Bears fans.
as a fan base, we're just waiting,
Yeah.
we're, right? Like I think it's just when people have said it, when the Bears are good, football is good. Like
Yep.
the NFL does better, right? Like they are one of the original franchise, but it's other than the fluke of 2018, right? Like that was a effing fluke. Even the year they made it right against the Saints, it was the first year they implemented a seven
Oh,
playoff, right? Like that was also garbage. So if you take
yeah.
2018, it's been a very, very sad time here as Bears fans.
It's it's been a brutal, I would say, what are we, 2025, about 15 years.
Right.
It's been brutal.
It's been absolutely very, very difficult. But I'm excited. I think it's gonna be great. And speaking of the off season, right? I think kind of segueing and kind of into our next topic, right? I think is something that I'm kind of excited to talk about and kind of pick your brain on is yes, we can go career, but I think mixing career and last season is who are the top 10 quarterbacks going in the next year. I have a list that you're probably gonna agree on some and not agree on things, but it's not list. I'll start from 10 and I'll go to 1.
All
Right.
right.
We can get
Awesome.
it right after that. Then we can get into kind of what it is.
Hmm.
The 10, I know, some bias here. I have Williams there. I have Caleb Williams there, man. Man, the guy threw for 3,541 yards. Like, granted, a lot of it was crappy garbage time stuff, but he showed his weapons. He showed some of those passes, right? That pass to, I think, was it a Dunze? Like that was just it's there. So I think it's open, right?
Yeah.
Especially if we're talking about other past seasons of other people like yada 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 doing things like I think Caleb's there. I think Caleb's gonna have a better season. I think he's gonna bold prediction. He's gonna throw for 4,000 yards. I think he is. He was what less than 400 yards this year doing it.
He
And
probably hits the 30 touchdown mark
yeah,
this season.
right. So that's why I put him at 10. Right. I think it's promising.
Yeah.
9. As much as I hate him, I think he's fucking rated, and his coach makes him. I put Jordan Love at 9.
Oh God.
Green Bay sucks. Yes, Green Bay sucks. Green Bay will always suck. Yes, the Bears pretty much ended their season, which was fantastic. Anywho, listen. Matt LaFleur is a genius. He's a guru. Like, he is fantastic, but I cannot not say that Love doesn't play well. Like, yes, is he the best? No, but he wins games. He knows how to win games. And he was hurt this season and still, threw for 3,000, 389 yards and 25 touchdowns. And he was hurt. And he missed a couple games, right? So, like, I know it's insane, but I think,
he's got talent. I
Right.
think
right.
Matt LaFleur knows how to bring that talent out. I would say he's probably top 5 QB if they could get like a T Higgins or
Right.
or
They need wide receivers.
yeah, they need a number 1. And
Right.
that's not any knock on like Jaden Reed or Dontavian Wicks. It's just that they're just not the go-to guy, right? Like, and that's what Love needs. Like, whenever he's in trouble,
Mm-hmm.
just someone to get the ball to.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
8, I know he didn't have the most phenomenal season on page, right? But it's CJ Stroud, 2 years in the league, 2 playoffs, lost his receivers. Tank Dell's been died the first 2 seasons, right? Like, he lost Nico Collins for a while. He's gotten his teams, to win, the AFC South. Granted, it's not that difficult division the last couple of years to win, but like, he's there. 7 might surprise you. I put Baker Mayfield there.
Baker
had 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, man. Like,
money maker Baker.
he got into the
I love it.
playoffs, and granted, like, they lost to the Commanders, a tough team, right? Like, tough team, which, speaking of that, I put Jayden Daniels at 6. I mean, the guy, as much as, right, I think, right, that season was gifted energy from that Hail Mary.
Mm.
I mean, he had a great season as a rookie. I mean, a rookie of the year. Like, I can't knock him for that. 5. I want him to put him higher, but the other guys on the list have accolades, and he doesn't. Is Joe Burrow. I'm not gonna talk more about him. I think he's gonna win MVP next year. Like, almost 5,000 yards passing, 43 touchdowns. It's just absolutely insane. But next 4 is Allen. I mean, I don't really need to talk more about Allen. He got the MVP. That's why he's above Burrow. If he didn't have it, Burrow will be above him.
Yep.
3 is Hurts. I know he has a Super Bowl, but it's his team, right? He only has 1 Super Bowl. Granted, he has but this year he only threw for 2,900 yards, right? Granted, he has a 2,000-yard running back and he has a Super Bowl, but the 2 guys above him just have longevity, right? And just other things, right? In the sense of, Lamar Jackson's at 2. I mean, and then number 1 obviously is Mahomes. Like, that's
It's Mahomes. Yeah.
Yes. Did he light up the year? He did towards the end of the season, right? Like, he started getting back to it. Like, and granted, right? Like, has he been outplayed in most of his Super Bowls? I will die on that hill. I will get into the argument. We can do that in another episode, right? I think there is validity in that, what I just said. But, man, the guy has 3 Super Bowls.
He's found a way to win them all, even though he hasn't played his best.
Right.
So can you imagine?
Jackson at 2 might piss off people, right? Because he doesn't have a Super Bowl and Hurts does. But, like, Jackson has 2 MVPs. He has the most rushing yards by a QB already in the season, in his career. And he's gonna get close to 10,000 rushing yards as a QB. That's just absolutely freaking ridiculous. You know what I mean? And Hurts is at 3. As much as, I think Jalen has a very good team around him, which he does. I mean, he played phenomenal Super Bowls, and I can't knock him for that.
I actually don't disagree with the Jalen. I would actually put Jalen at 2.
Okay.
Because I think this year specifically, like, he took a big step, because the year before, last year, I think it was 2023, like, he had a real, like, up and down season.
Sure.
But, like, he's just the perfect fit for Philly, man. Like, he doesn't turn the ball over. He does whatever it takes to win. Like,
I agree.
he's a team player.
And I can't hate that. I can't hate that because at the end of the day, yes, you win by certain players being good, but it's a team sport. But like the one thing that I'll argue, yes, I know he won the Super Bowl, but Lamar had 41 touchdown passes, man.
Super Bowl MVP, man.
I know, and that's the
Super
thing.
Bowl.
He has a trophy, so like I don't hate Hurts. Like I really sat there when I was making this list, and 2 and 3 were really hard, and 4 and 5, right? Like Allen above Burrow only because Allen has the MVP, right? Like
Allen above Burrow, I agree with because Burrow's been hurt like 3 of the last 4 seasons.
sure.
Um,
But Burrow is the only person who's beat Mahomes in the playoffs other than Jalen.
he, I agree. Yeah.
So
Other than Jalen Hurts, yeah. But I, so, I mean, just to kind of come back to the Jalen and Lamar, um, I feel like, well, I would put Jalen above Lamar with, the Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl. I know Lamar has 2 MVPs, but they do have this thing for whatever reason, whenever they play the Chiefs, like they have to prove that he's a good passer or something like that. Like
yeah.
they they go away from the run game. They had Derrick Henry, man. Just 200 and what is he? 230,
Yeah,
236.
huge man. I mean, and I think that's you hit it on the head, right? Like even last year when they didn't have Henry, right? Like, did they have Henry last year? No, they did.
No,
Oh,
he
right,
was
yeah, right.
yeah,
Last year,
just
right?
a
They
season.
AFC Conference Championship. They ran the ball 10 times.
10
Like,
times.
why?
Yeah.
Why? Why?
You
Why 10 times when you knew that is your strength? Like, I understand you want to, and I think you hit it on the head. It's like they want to prove Lamar as a passer. Dude, I don't care that he needs to be a good passer. Win the damn game. And look at Hurts, perfect example. Like
it's
he threw for under 3,000 yards this season, but he's a Super Bowl MVP.
Yep. Exactly. They're both the same. They're the same prototype of a player,
Sure,
but one is willing to do
whatever it
like
takes.
whatever it takes, man. If he needs to hand it off 30 times, he's happy doing it.
Yeah.
With
And what the 2,903 passing yards? I mean, yeah, people are gonna be like it's low because he had Saquon Barkley. He had a rusher that was over 2,000 yards. It makes sense why his passing total was low.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
like
When
any.
you yeah, when you can rely on your 300-pound offensive line, your average lineman that's 300 pounds, and Saquon Barkley, who's like
Right.
probably the best running back in the league right now. Like, yeah, of course you're just gonna use that. Like,
Yeah.
and I think, yeah, I mean, if it kind of depends, like, what this list is it like what it is? Is it like can win the MVP, can win a Super Bowl, pure talent? Like,
Yeah, I think it's a combination. I looked at it from all different angles, right? And I'm also right. I also took in consideration years played, right? Mahomes and Allen, granted Mahomes didn't play his rookie season, but they both are 8 years, right? And who else is at 8 years too, right? I think Baker's at 8 years too. You know what I
makers at
mean?
8, yeah.
And but like I have Caleb in there, 1 year, right? I have CJ who's been 2 years, right? Like I have these guys who are different years. So like I took a lot of consideration in this list, career stats, this, that, and this, that, and the other, right? Like, and yes, if I'm looking at career stats, why is Jaden Williams up there, right? I'm looking at also, right, what's ahead. Like I could
Yeah.
have put Jared Goff up there. I could have put Justin Herbert in there. I could have put Bo Nix in there. I should have honestly put Bo Nix over, Jordan.
Matthew Stafford.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I could if we're looking at the entire spectrum of things, but I'm looking at it in different angles, right? Yes, some biases in there too. Like I'm not gonna lie, right? Like it is what it is, but I think right 6 through 10 could be negotiable. And I think the top 5, right, is Burrow, Allen, Hurts, Jackson, and Mahomes, right? It doesn't have to be in that order specifically, but those are the top 5 quarterbacks in this league. And anyone who
I,
just disagrees is like, what are you watching on Sundays?
yeah. I would agree. Yeah. Daniels he's knocking on the door, man. He's right there. I
Yeah.
would have moved Love above Stroud.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Maybe Baker above Daniels just because Daniels he's only done it for 1 season. And Baker, man, oh my God.
But
It-
Daniels went into Tampa and beat him in the playoffs.
that is true.
I
Baker took the Browns.
that was literally the tying breaker for me. I'm like, Baker has it everything, but Daniels went in there as a rookie and beat you in your
And
home
he
turf
beat
on
him.
the playoffs. I'm sorry, I gotta give the notch to Daniels.
God, that was a great game.
It was. So like I agree with you. I
I,
agree. If we're looking at longevity and everything, yeah, Baker's
if
above Daniels. But if I'm taking him this season, I'm like, my man, I'm sorry. Like you got beat by a rookie in your hometown. Like
yeah, okay. So it sounded like then that's kind of how this is built. Then, like, if you're taking him this season,
yeah,
Patrick Mahomes would be one,
it would
right?
be because it's Patrick Mahomes. Like I get it that he lost in the Super Bowl, but it's still Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, okay. Then Lamar too,
Right.
which I understand.
But I would
I
honestly like I wouldn't mind putting Hurts at 2. Like I think right, listening to your argument, yeah, like I can put Jackson at 3 and put Hurts at 2.
hmm, they're interchangeable for me.
Right.
Um, so Jalen at 3, Josh at 4.
Right.
Right. I don't disagree with that. Joe at 5, right? Injury history, Daniels, NFC Championship game
As a rookie.
as a rookie. This is the greatest rookie season we've ever seen.
Right. And granted, if he didn't run against the buzzsaw that were the Philadelphia Eagles, he would have, he could have gone to the Super Bowl. Right. But
Yep.
he had to get against the best team that won the Super Bowl, and he lost to the best team this season.
Yep. So yeah, that would have been interesting to see
Right.
if Philly wasn't there.
Right. And
Like,
granted, right, like he beat Philly this season too.
yeah.
In a comeback. So like it's
Yeah.
not like he couldn't do it, but at where the stage was the most bright, Jalen
But-
Hurts, which is
yeah.
why he's number 2 on our on this list. That
Yeah.
signed him, and that's what it is, right? So
Saquon Barkley, actually, that game was
it was
he
it was the Saquon show. Yeah.
he ran circles around it.
Yes. It was going to be which was the variable, but yeah.
Baker, right?
Yeah.
Baker's been awesome the last couple of seasons, man. And
Yeah.
the last lead to the playoffs. Like that's awesome. And
Right.
and ever since then, ever since they've traded him, it's like that trade is just like worse and worse every
Right.
season.
He went to the Panthers, right? Because that's where he was traded to, right? The Panthers.
Yep.
Right, yeah, and right, the whole Watson thing, and anyway, we're not going to get into that discussion because that can be talked on for death, right? But like, yeah, Baker, and yes, Baker was the number 1 overall pick, and he did horrible, but he goes to a place, and you can't knock on him reviving his career. And it's not like maybe he might do this next year, he might not. It's not like it's one and done like Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold's one and done, but that's it. That's just me. But Baker went and he's done very well at Tampa, right? Like you can't say like, oh. Because this season alone, right, with that 4,500 yards and 41 touchdowns, that's a number 1 overall pick statistics.
Yep.
Right. Yes,
Yep.
he threw 16 interceptions, but he's a gunslinger. They throw the ball deep there. They have Mike Evans and Godwin, so like they're gonna throw the ball down, right? They're gonna throw the ball down the field, which then in turns into more interceptions.
They're
But,
aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah, that stat line is a first overall pick stat line.
Yeah. His career trajectory has gone up, and
Right.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of Baker. I've been rooting for him for a while, so it is kind of nice to see him finally crack the top 10 on somebody's list.
Right.
Yeah, so
I agree. Right. And then CJ, Love, and Williams rounded out, I think. And those can be interchangeable. But like I said, I put Williams at 10 just because I'm obviously a Bears fan. I think I'm excited for him. He showed the promise. But
yeah, we all want to see Caleb.
right.
We want to see Caleb in the top 5.
That's what we want to. That's what we want to. He's generational talent, this, that, and the other, right? And people want to argue, oh, Bo Nix. Bo Nix had Sean Payton. Shut the hell up. I don't want to hear it. Bo Nix had Sean Payton, and we had some guy named Matt Eberflus that only just grew a beard and thought he was a new man. So, and not going to attack another man's manhood, but that's what it is. All right, let's be honest. So, Bo Nix played phenomenal. I'm not going to lie, right? But he got.
Can he replicate it? Like, that's the question.
Can he? And then he got murdered by the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs. So I don't want to hear it.
Bo Nix at 11. Heard.
Right. Because Justin Herbert's ass because he can't win playoff games, but that's why he's not in my top 10. Yeah, I think that's a good list, right? And I think obviously, right, like go ahead.
No, I think it's a great list. Like, this is other than, maybe I would say, yeah, Bo Nix, Herbert. Like, yeah, I would agree with these. Like these, I think all these guys here have the potential to be like the next QB to win the Super Bowl.
Right, and that's my thing, right? Is I'm looking at that too. Not saying that Justin Herbert could, but look, he had Jim Harbaugh, and Justin Herbert did what Justin Herbert did in the playoffs.
Hmm.
Justin Herbert did. So it's just like I can't sit there. Yes, does he have the statistics? Yes, does he have the numbers? Yes. Did he have like I mean, yeah, like his best receiver this year was a rookie. Granted, yes, like but that run game was fantastic, right? J.K. Dobbins when he was there was a workhorse. So it's just like why can't you win a damn playoff game, man? If you won one playoff game, you're in that top 10, but you didn't. You didn't.
Yep.
You,
Yep.
you got bounced pretty roughly, right? So it's just like to
And
me,
they had a chance.
right. And
Yeah.
you can argue, oh, why the hell is Williams not there? He's the only quarterback that didn't make the playoffs. And granted, yes, but once again, I'm biased. I already said this, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm projecting him to do well next season. So
Yeah.
yeah,
We all are. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, all right. Yeah, so I agree with this list for the most part.
yeah,
Like I said, just some interchangeable ones, but
sure.
you know. Let's go into our next topic. Uh, and I think it's our last, right?
Yes.
So favorite actors, favorite video games. So we can close this out.
Yeah. Oh, that's tough. So video games. That's really easy to me. I'm gonna do my top three. Right. I think no specific order. It's Gears of War, the whole Gears of War series. That stays in my heart through and through. I think that's just the first three were fantastic from story. Right. Like this that whole thing with Dom and Marcus and just chef's kiss. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Right.
I don't need to talk about that game. Another one is yes they it's been rough the last couple of games that they've had on. They're having troubles, right? But Ubisoft is Ubisoft. But I love the Assassin's Creed games, like those growing up. The ones where you play as Ezio in Italy. Those 2-3 games were just once again chefs.
Oh,
Like those
the
were
original, yeah,
yeah
the
those
first
to me
three.
were like
Yeah.
peak games. They're like the open world stuff is great, and Mirage. I even play Mirage. 'Cause I'm like I don't. It
There's a
frustrates.
lot. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's time consuming, like
Right.
the newer ones.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I think my last one that I would put up there is a game that I go to back through and through, and it's stand the test of time, and it sucks my soul sometimes. It's Skyrim. Like I go back to that game all the time. Just like I literally picked it up a couple weeks ago and was like, I'm just gonna restart a game and be this character now and just mess around, and so like those three games are really kind of rooted into kind of what I grew up in and kind of the video game what I like now essentially playing too.
Yeah. Yeah. They're definitely time consuming. Skyrim, geez.
Horrible. But if,
It'll
if I
take
have to be
hours.
honest, my favorite game of all time, though, if I have to be honest, those are like my favorite game series. Is straight up is The Witcher 3. That's my favorite game of all time.
All right.
That has to go into that, but that's just cherry on top. Yeah.
My favorite video games. It's honestly been, and it's kind of happened like the last couple of years. Um, Resident Evil,
Okay.
that series
Yeah.
of games, horror game, like that's what got me into horror video
Mhm.
games in the first place.
Sure.
Uh, Biohazard, that was the first one that I
Yeah.
that I ever played. And man, it's been I just get so hooked on it. Like I know people don't like the jump scares and all that,
Sure.
but I don't know. I'm a fan of it. I love it. I
Yeah.
love the suspense.
Yeah.
Um, Number two, Silent Hill, just because I finished playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one just as good. Like the story, the writing, everything. Man, if you haven't played it,
Yeah.
definitely recommend it.
Got it. Okay.
Um, Third, my third one is Super Mario 64.
Fair. That's
Is
going.
an original, but
Yeah.
it was one of the first video games that I ever remember playing.
No,
So
fair. I mean, yeah, that was it. I think you throw in the same time at that round for me. It was we're gonna sit there is Ocarina of Time and GoldenEye. Like those three right you hit those are not even just nostalgia factors. I think those three games really revolutionized video games as we play it today, right? Like
Hmm.
so yeah, those are good ones. Those are good. I didn't even really think of those ones. I kind of thought too modern.
Yeah.
Realize,
Yeah.
realize.
Those are the roots, man. Those are the ones. Yeah.
For
Just
sure, for
bring
sure.
us back. Yeah.
What about
Uh,
your three actors?
favorite actors, I would say Pedro Pascal. He's a new one for me now.
Yeah,
Uh, Game of Thrones, that that scene of him versus the mountain. I
sure.
don't. Yeah, that's forever embedded in my brain.
I'm one of those one percenters who have not seen an episode of Game of Thrones.
If
But that's just me. So
if there's one that you have to watch, it's that one, just
okay,
because you'll be like, what the fuck at the end.
fair,
It,
fair.
yeah. Uh, Other two favorite actors. Um, oh God, what's his name? He's the guy from Ozark, Jason Bateman.
Yes, thank you. I was like, what's
Y-
his name?
Yeah, Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman's a good one. He's a good actor.
He's he's versatile. He's
Yeah,
funny. Like, yeah,
it's going.
he's really good. Third one. Yeah, the third one's tough. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Uh, I'm gonna have to give the third one some thought, but because I don't
Sure,
think I have a third one right
sure,
now.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'll go. I got my list and no particular order. Right, like my favorite actor, honestly, is just, I know it's very cliche, is Leo. Like, I mean, I love Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, that guy, anything he touches is good and gold, right? Like, I watched Revenant for the first time like last year, and I was like, oh my lord, like it was, like, and the fact that he won that for his Oscar, not other things. Anyway, we can discuss that another time. But yeah, Leo's there. Um, I think one that I really truly like, just because he plays in some good ones, is Jack Nicholson. That man is just.
Oh, nice.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
older now, but man, like The Shining is just a movie that's embedded into my mind to this day, right? Like his portrayal in that movie is once again chef's kiss. And then
Hmm.
like I have a lot of ones there, but I'm gonna be super, super. Maybe one that people don't really like is Sir Anthony Hopkins. And not that people don't like, but maybe it was not a common one. But he's Hannibal Lecter, man. Like Silence of the Lamb was just that's another great, fantastic movie. And anything that Sir Anthony Hopkins touched, I think.
Is he the guy that played Thor's dad, Odin?
Yes,
I think that was him, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he was really good. He
yeah,
was he
he's
was
a
great as
fantastic
Odin.
actor. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I figured out my last one.
Oh, okay.
It's Matthew McConaughey.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
He's he's versatile, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Rom-coms, and then
It's true.
Interstellar was awesome. So
Which is something I haven't seen yet.
I highly recommend
Trust me. I
it.
tell people that people are like, "What are you doing with your life?" I'm like, yeah, I know. I should watch it." So
Yeah, you're missing out, man.
it took me forever to watch Shutter Island, so that's another.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah.
That could be a whole other discussion, but
Right.
there's a lot of Easter eggs there that predicted um like the end of that movie.
I'm gonna be honest
That
with you. As you know, I'm a therapist, right? I guessed what his thing was in the first 5 minutes. So
Oh wow.
your cousin was not happy with me. She did not want to watch the movie afterwards. She's like, "Why do we gotta watch it?" I'm like, "Because I want to watch it, even though I know what's gonna happen at the end. Let's just finish it." So I can't predict movies anymore. So don't
Yeah.
blame.
Well,
But
I'm
yeah,
not watching a movie with you, Kosa.
and no, don't ever watch a movie with me because I would try to predict it in the first 5 minutes. But yeah, we'll wrap up for today, guys. I think if you guys, we're gonna be probably dropping episodes once a week towards the end of the week. I think we're gonna record in early in the week, and we'll probably drop episodes.
I was thinking every Friday.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
It's,
so we'll
yeah.
do that, and then but yeah, I hope you guys join this podcast, and hope to see you guys in the next time.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.